I'm sure we've all been in shock and horror over the last 24 hours um, in learning of the passing of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre in the car accident yesterday in Spain. This is the first time, that I'm obviously addressing it here on the channel. It's not something I thought I'd ever have to do. To be honest with you, it's not something that we contemplate often, is it? It's not something that we think about. It's not something that is consciously going through our minds. But before I go on to discuss what happened, rest in peace, rest in perfect paradise to Diogo Jota and his brother, and the thoughts just go out to both of their families and all of their friends and close loved ones, their teammates, the fans of Liverpool Football Club, the fans of Wolves Football Club, Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club, the fans of Porto, the fans of all the Portuguese people around the world, Portuguese national team. It's just just mind blowing how, and so sad and tragic that how somebody who, and two people just had so much going in life, and you click a finger and it's gone. It's gone, you know. I made the decision yesterday, to not do any content on United View or here. I just thought that was what was best. I don't know if you guys would have seen on United View, we were live at the time of the news breaking, and it just didn't feel right. Of course, the broadcast and the mainstream media is different. So I was on TalkSport yesterday evening, and the people calling in tears, and people calling into the show, just with how much it's affected them, and it just puts everything in perspective in life. And Diogo Jota is just so loved. You can just see the love and legacy that he's already created by how people speak of him. Teammates, Jurgen Klopp, current manager, and my heart just goes out to his family. 3 young, beautiful children, and only getting married a couple of weeks ago. That is when you make that commitment to your partner to begin this thing called life, to live this thing called life, attack this thing called life together, hand in hand, arm in arm, heart in heart. And his wife doesn't have that anymore. His children don't have their father anymore. His parents don't have their son anymore. His nieces or nephews don't have their uncle anymore. And the family, they've lost 2 sons in tragic circumstances. It's honestly, there's nothing I can say, and that people haven't said already. And also, like, another thing that was just so hit me hard was just like the club Liverpool, the city of Liverpool, as well as a football club as well, and a city, but as a football club, to just dealing with another tragedy, another tragedy in this manner, and the city always gets through it, the club always gets through it. Never has there been a truer, more fitting slogan or saying for a football club of "you'll never walk alone," because they prove it time and time again that they never walk alone, and they will support each other, and the whole wider football community, and even people outside the football community that this is affected and that are aware of this, will come together. And I just hope that Diogo Jota's family and Andre's family just have the love, the unity, support from everybody who loved the both of them, because that's what they deserve. I cannot even imagine the pain that his wife and family and friends must be feeling. Take us aside as avid watchers of football in the Premier League. We put these guys on a pedestal. They're superstars, scoring goals in front of thousands of people, living the life. You know, take that aside. These are real life people. These are humans. You know, we kind of see footballers as superstar, immortal, you know, and believe they're going to be here forever, and certainly don't associate things like this happening. We don't foresee that ever, because footballers are larger than life. You know, they're invincible. But this just shows, like, in an instant, like, life can be changed. You know, life can be changed in an instant, in the click of a finger. And also, what I've seen more so from the show I did yesterday on Talksport in the evening, with loads of people that were calling in and wanted to pay their respect to Diogo and his brother Andre, is how much actually it's affected everybody. You know, in terms of, there's people that have lost people in a similar way, and it's very triggering and hurtful for them. There's people who carry, you know, burdens or relationship strains, or, you know, breakdown in relationships and communication with loved ones that they haven't spoken to in a while. You know, I was sort of talking about that yesterday evening on the show, and a father called in and said, I haven't really spoke to my son like that. I haven't really checked in with my son, and I need to. I'm going to, and it puts everything into perspective. Everything into perspective, guys. Cherish this life, man. Cherish this life, because we have no idea what's round the corner, you know? And as this is an awful, awful tragedy, and what happens in tragedy is, you know, the immediate days, hours, weeks, months as well after it is consumed in pain and sorrow and hurt. But like Arnie Slot said in his beautifully written letter, that the time is going to come soon to celebrate Diogo Jota's life and achievements, not only as a football player, but as a man, you know, as a human being, as all of the titles that I said that he is, you know, a husband, a father, a son, a brother, an uncle, etc., a friend. And you see some of the tributes from the Liverpool players as well. Andy Robertson with some really heartfelt words. Kelleher, same thing. All of the Liverpool players, Van Dijk. And his memory should be cherished. You know, there's something so special about that number 20. So special, so synonymous. He wore the number 20. Liverpool won the 20th title. You know, it just, his song that I'm sure now will ring out around Anfield and every other Premier League stadium where Liverpool play. It talks about retiring his jersey, retiring his shirt. I absolutely agree with that sentiment. I hope Liverpool do, you know, go forward and say they will do that. Another fan called in, was talking about, you know, his song being sung in the 20 minute of every game, and the football community will come together, home and away, amongst all the terraces and the Premier League grounds and abroad. It really, really will. So, yeah, really, really sad news yesterday. And like I said, I just it did for me. I know a lot of people listen. It's very important to speak when things like this happen, you know, with the platforms that we have. And it's too poignant, but I just felt yesterday for me wasn't the right time for me personally. But yeah, just love, condolences to everybody affected by this. Most importantly is his family, because you cannot imagine the grief and pain that they're experiencing, losing their two family members in this way. So Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, rest in peace.